The rain pounded hard on the rusted tin roof of Ray's garage that night, sounding like 1,000 desperate knocks from heaven. It was past midnight, and the last bus had already groaned its way down the hill an hour ago. Ray, a grizzled yet kind-hearted mechanic in his late 50s, was wiping grease from his hands, preparing to lock up for the night. Life hadn't been gentle with Ray. His wife had passed away 5 years ago from cancer, and his only son had left town shortly after, chasing dreams that never brought him back. The garage was all Ray had, that, and an aging golden retriever named Duke who had long become more family than pet. Just as he turned off the lights and reached for the padlock, a faint sound stopped him. Help! It was weak, almost a whisper, but unmistakable. Ray spun around. Hello? He called into the darkness. Help! Came the voice again, trembling, fragile. He grabbed his flashlight and followed the sound, stepping carefully around tires and tools. Behind the row of junked cars, near the back wall of the garage, he saw her. A young girl, no older than 17, soaked and shivering, slumped against an old engine block. Her arm was bloodied, her clothes torn, and her face pale with pain and exhaustion. Ray dropped to his knees. My God, child, what happened to you? She flinched at his voice. Please, don't call the police, she whispered. Ray hesitated. You're hurt. You need a doctor. No hospitals, she begged, eyes wide with fear. Please. Just help me, just for tonight. Years of hardship had taught Ray to read people quickly. This girl wasn't dangerous. She was terrified. And wounded. And alone. Without another word, he scooped her up gently and carried her into the back room of the garage where he kept a small cot and a first aid kit. Duke followed, tail wagging softly, as if sensing the girl's pain. Ray cleaned her wounds as best as he could, trying not to ask too many questions. She hissed through the pain but didn't cry. Name's Ray, he finally said. You don't have to tell me anything, but I ain't gonna let you die here. Understand? She nodded faintly. I'm Lily. All right, Lily, Ray said, wrapping her arm. You're safe now. That night, she slept fitfully, clutching a blanket Ray had given her, while he kept watch nearby. Something about her reminded him of his son, the same defiance in her eyes, the same untold stories brimming behind silence. Over the next few days, Lily barely spoke. Ray didn't press. He fed her, gave her clothes, and offered the corner of the garage where the light came in through a cracked window. Gradually, she started to come alive again. She watched him work, helped sweep the floor, even began to learn how to hold a wrench. Then one morning, she asked, Why'd you help me, Ray? You don't even know me. Ray shrugged. Maybe I was the only one who heard you ask for help. That's all. She looked away, her eyes glossy. You could have turned me in. Everyone else would have. I ain't everyone else, he said gently. That afternoon, as Ray fixed an old Buick, Lily finally told her story. She had run away from a foster home in another state, a place where she'd endured more cruelty than care. One night, she'd escaped through a window with nothing but her backpack and a dream of finding her real father, a man she'd never met but believed was out there. She'd hitched rides, walked through cities, and survived on scraps. Then one night, she was attacked in an alley by a man who tried to steal her bag. She fought back, was wounded, and ran until she collapsed at Ray's garage. Ray listened without judgment. He simply nodded and said, You're safe now, Lily. That matters. In the weeks that followed, Lily bloomed like a flower starved of sunlight. She smiled more. She laughed with Duke. She could rebuild a carburetor faster than most apprentices. Ray found himself looking forward to her chatter, her stubbornness, her energy. For the first time in years, the garage didn't feel like a tomb, it felt like home. But good things rarely come without challenge. One evening, a black SUV pulled up. Two men in suits stepped out and approached the garage. "You Ray Miller?" one of them asked. "Who's asking?" "Private investigators. We're looking for a girl. 17. Goes by Lily. Missing for over a month. Her mother hired us." Ray's chest tightened. "There ain't no Lily here," he said coolly. They showed him a photo, Lily, in a school uniform, smiling but sad. "We have reason to believe she's nearby," the man said. Ray stared them down. "Well, you believe wrong. Now if you're done snooping, I've got work to do." The men didn't argue, but as they left, they gave a warning. "If you're hiding her, it's a felony." Ray closed the garage door and locked it tight. He found Lily sitting in the corner, pale. "I heard them," she whispered. "They'll take me back." Ray looked at her, the fear in her eyes, the trembling in her hands. And he knew, he couldn't lose her. She wasn't just some kid who stumbled into his life. She was the second chance he didn't know he needed. "I'll find your father," he said softly. "We'll find him together." For days, Ray and Lily dug through old records, emails, even hired a local librarian to help search through databases. And one rainy morning, much like the night she first arrived, they found him. Michael Donovan. Age 42. Lived 2 towns over. A carpenter. No criminal record. And most importantly, he had been searching for a daughter he never knew existed. Her mother had kept her pregnancy a secret. Only after her passing did he learn the truth through a lawyer. When Lily saw his photo, she broke down in Ray's arms. "It's him," she whispered. "I know it." Ray made the call. The man on the other end broke down in tears. A meeting was arranged. When Lily met Michael, it was like watching a puzzle piece fall into place. They talked for hours, cried, laughed, held each other like time itself was trying to catch up. Ray watched from a distance, heart heavy but full. Michael approached him afterward. "I don't know how to thank you." Ray shook his head. "You don't need to. Just give her the life she deserves." Lily turned to Ray then, eyes full of tears. "You saved me. You gave me a home when I had none. You're my family too." Ray smiled, eyes misty. "You'll always have a place here, kid." As the SUV drove away with Lily and her father, Duke rested his head on Ray's boot, sensing the quiet shift in the air. The garage was silent again, but not empty. Ray looked around and for the first time, felt peace. Sometimes fate doesn't come in lightning bolts or grand gestures. Sometimes, it comes in the form of a whispered help in the dark. And sometimes, answering that whisper changes 2 lives forever. Ray went back to work, the rain still tapping on the roof. But now, every drop sounded like a thank you from heaven.